Good morning. It is Friday. Good morning to you. It must be 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. There's my cat. You guys can't see, but they can. How are you doing? It's good to see you. It's the end of the week. How did your week go? How did it go? It felt like a short week because of the whole Labor Day thing, right? I've been off a day all day every day has been weird. I don't know if that's happened to anybody else this week, but it's like, you kind of feel like you're, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's Friday. We should all be very excited because don't we all just love to get out of a routine, whatever it is, spend the weekend enjoying ourselves just a little tiny bit, right? We got to do that tonight. I have 3 grandsons. They're all 18 months apart. Cuckoo bananas. 3, 2, Levi just turned 2, and 6 months, basically, almost. Good morning, Carla. Monday is coming. You're right. Yes, Monday's coming. Thank you for the reminder, Carla. In the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, we start our 5-day challenge on Monday, September the 9th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So yay. Good morning, Cheryl. Good to see you. Oh, you got your trio ordered, Robin. Oh, I'm so excited. Yay. Good for you. I'm so excited. That's wonderful. Okay. And so 2 of my grandsons, my last one he will not take a bottle. He will absolutely not take it. Now, this is a good problem to have. My daughter worked really hard for her nursing journey. So she's very happy, but OMG, she's where do you go? You can't go very far because he will not take a bottle. So I have 2 of my grandsons sleeping over tonight. I'm so excited. So anyway, a little 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. We're going to have a party. We're going to have a Nona and a Papa party tonight. So I'm so excited. Thank you for all the likes on TikTok. You know what that does for my algorithm universe. Thank you. Thank you. Celebrating your grand's birthday and Monday is your daughter's. See, I don't know. It's just really fun to have something exciting in the middle of, whatever, just routine. We just kind of get going in our routine and we're just whatever. And so that's just really nice. So I'm very excited about that. And of course, it being September, it's you kind of get into this, okay, fall's coming. And for me, and I told this to my husband, I said, why do I brace for winter? I really don't despise winter so much. I don't like the inconvenience of it in Minnesota. That's all. But last winter was so freaking amazing. We had virtually no snow and we had dry roads all winter. It was glorious. I'm sure that's not going to replay itself this year. That's okay. But I have to stop bracing for things. I have to change the narrative in my own head. You know how yesterday we were talking so much about mindset here? And I have to change the narrative in my own head about winter because it's ridiculous. I'm living here, so I might as well embrace it, right? That's what I need to do. Okay, so really, really happy to have you guys here today. If you've never seen any of my content, which is common on all platforms nowadays, it's kind of interesting. I don't know who's fixing the algorithm or whatever's happening, but my name is Kirsten Liebelt. Hi, how you doing? And basically, I was all my life, I was in my Italian family. There was a lot of obesity and a lot of type 2 diabetes. And I just thought it was super normal and common. And I never thought about that there were people living outside of that. Does that make sense? It didn't dawn on me that, the neighbors weren't living this way or, or, maybe some of our friends that weren't a part of the Italian family, they weren't living this way. They had a different life, etc. And, but mine was definitely very centered around my dad's type 2 diabetes. He was insulin dependent because I think he had me probably at 34-ish, and then he was diagnosed with type 2 at 35. So this literally was my entire life. I just didn't know any different. So he died at 63. And that is what motivates me every day to get up and talk to people about what I found for myself, what I know is now helping other people, and to actually teach people how to fish. Like, let's learn how to do that, because I was the most unlikely person. Like, if there was a Facebook page, I would have been the most unlikely ever to eat a healthy diet or to supplement or to be disciplined. Like, none of that was a part of who I was. You guys, literally almost my entire life. I mean, I had moments because, we did homeschooling and we did stuff. I had moments that, God sustained me in all of it, right? But when it came to like food and my weight and all of those things, it wasn't until my 50s. And I'm 59 now, I'll be 60 in January. So it wasn't until my 50s. So everybody should have hope. I come on here to give people hope, because seriously, I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s. And I just like to share how I did it and how other people don't have to be so overwhelmed by the matrix and meds and side effects and hamster wheel weight gain, loss, gain, loss, gain, loss, gain. People don't have to live like that anymore. And this is not a terminal diagnosis. So completely reversible. And that is the whole goal of any conversation. If you don't leave my content encouraged with hope, then I haven't done my job for the day. Now, if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. I always like to know that. And in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, I started that 16 months ago. And I started it because I actually beta tested 2 groups. One group was for hormones, more generalized for just female cuckoo banana hormones that we go upside down and we don't know who we are anymore. And kind of that perimenopause, menopause, that process, and trying to get people to understand that you don't have to live a life that sucks. You really don't. But I did that through adaptogenic herbs, and you better believe I still take my adaptogenic herbs today. That's the purple packet I talk about. However, at the same time, I did another group called for insulin resistance, and the insulin resistance one went boom. The response was so huge, and that's how I knew that was like that was the conversation that I needed to be having. So taking all of the hormones and singling it down to one hormone, insulin, and of course we talk about cortisol too, because hello, they're kind of like sisters. Sister hormones. They're both involved in the whole belly fat process. That's what they're both involved in. But anyway. And so now 16 months later, the group is at almost 5,000 women in the group. And once a month, we do a challenge, a 5-day challenge. And that is to do nothing other than resource you. Let's get talking about like, what is insulin resistance? And so you can know that you're making decisions and choices, not because you have to deprive yourself, not because you're a bad person, not because you're going to punish yourself, but because this is just the way the body works. So we're going to take the emotion out of it, embrace it, and then learn how to still be a foodie in the process. So insulin resistance, let's talk about some ingredient trade outs. I'll do a pantry and a fridge reveal. We'll go ahead and do targeted supplementation, because I was never a supplementer ever. That was not my conversation, not my wheelhouse. And then let's do a recipe and have some fun together. So that's starting on Monday, September 9th. You can search the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You just search it on Facebook. When you find it, you'll see a September banner. Every month I change the banner to the month for that challenge. And just tell them Kirsten sent you. And I'd be more than happy to help you navigate your journey. And if you hear me talking about the trio on here, those are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. That's how that helped my body lose 3 sizes. That's because when your insulin and your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. So if you hear me talk about it here, I'll talk about it in there too. And you can ask questions either way. It takes people time to. Good morning, Magda. Good morning, sweetie. It takes time for people to ingest information and to see if it's for them. And that's perfect. That's perfect. I'm good with that. So, all right. Good morning, Linda. Good to see you. Oh, see, I did fireworks. That's how I do fireworks. Huh? I do thumbs up. That was my key. Okay. So on Instagram, you can have a party over on Instagram. If anybody wants to know that, because I can do fireworks and I can do hearts. I can make hearts kind of do stuff on Instagram also. Oh, well. Anyway, and on top of Instagram, just while I'm speaking about it, there it goes. At the top of Instagram, There's a pink highlight bubble, and it has testimonies of the trio. So if you're on TikTok, portal over to Instagram, even if you don't want to stay there, even if you just want to see the testimonies. When I put testimonies in my stories, I drop them down into the highlight bubble. So you can just surf and get your hopes up, okay? And if you're in the group, guide number 4. Today, what I wanted to do, though, was I wanted to talk about protein. Protein, 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 protein. I never understood this conversation. I didn't understand why protein was so important. I didn't understand the prioritization of it. And I definitely didn't understand it in terms of blood sugar stabilization and weight loss. Like, eating protein is a weight loss hack, just in case you wanted to know. So I thought I'd give you like some really simple, like, here's some basics, and then you can run with it. And I thought, okay, let's do this so that on the weekend now you can incorporate something, change something this weekend. And then I'll see you again on Monday, 10 a.m. and then 2 p.m. in the group. But do change out something or just be mindful. And let's just see where we can go with that, okay? So when you look up the information, and I feel like this is fairly standard conversation now at this point. So let's talk about how much protein somebody should have every day. You can go do macros. And if you're going to do macros, I highly recommend you do macros through Maria Emmerich. She has a free calculator. EMMERICH. She's great at ingredient tradeouts, and she's great at macros and teaching people proper keto, not fad keto. High fat keto was created for epilepsy. But high fat keto is oftentimes what we attach ourselves to, but it doesn't help us lose weight very well, or we lose weight right away and then it stalls out. So you have to understand a little different tweak on that. And her tweak is high protein, moderate fat, very low carb, not high fat, moderate protein. Flip them. Okay. So I'm just telling you that. And it matters. It matters a lot. That's why people can actually like start to move forward in their journey when you feel like you've been stuck for a long time. Anyway, so common conversation, let's say you don't want to do macros. Common conversation would be, for your general health, protein per pound of body weight, 0.6 to 0.8 grams per pound. So a little bit, about half to a little more of what you weigh right now is what you want in protein. However, if you want to build muscle or you want to lose weight or both, we're going to up it. Okay, we're going to up it. So that's why there's this constant conversation about protein and making sure that you're getting enough, because sometimes that's the number one thing I talk to people about. I bet you're not getting enough protein. And they're like, oh yeah, I have not been paying attention. Well, that was me big time. So you're going to up it to 0.8 to 1. That means that whatever you weigh, think about that in terms of how many grams of protein you want a day. So let's keep that super simple. How much do you weigh? Or guess, because if you've, like me, you've thrown away your scale, I measure everything. Eat that in protein every day. And it takes a minute to get there because we are so indoctrinated to eat grains and carbs all day long. So we're like, well, I'm not hungry enough to eat the protein. Stop eating the carbs, stop eating the grain, and you'll be plenty hungry. But then what'll happen is it's going to actually boost your metabolism. It's going to, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second, boost your metabolism, make you feel full and satiated. It's going to regulate and stabilize your blood sugars, and you're just going to feel so much better. So in my world, we talk grain-free, sugar-free, and high protein. I do have cottage cheese and plain Greek yogurt on my list today, Mary. Good question. You are a protein girl. Jan, good to see you. It's number one in my life. Things changed when I prioritized. You were stalled for years. I know, Carla. This is a common conversation with so many people who have tried keto. I tried that. No, you have to have a different understanding of what's happening. So we're going to talk about that It took time to tweak and trade out. Yes, 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 Carla. But now look at you, little gold star girl. You're such a good student. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I am not. Okay, let's go. This is your list of protein. And how many, like the portion size and how many grams. Okay, so now do you have it in your head how much you weigh or right around there? Okay, here's how you're going to chunk it out. If you have a chicken breast, the first 4 meat, doesn't matter. I'm not going to do it that way. Chicken breast, 3 ounces, 26 to 28 grams. You're literally like, that's a huge chunk right there by eating a chicken breast. Okay. Turkey breast, 3 ounces, it's a little less, 24 to 25. Beef and salmon are even just a tiny bit less, but they are 22 to 24. So they're all over that 20 mark. And then chicken breast kind of pushes it up a little bit. However, it's really hard to find decent chicken that's not really messed up in our food supply. I'm just saying. Because the chickens are fed all the grain and it just doesn't, it's whatever. It's just hard. You can easily find grass-fed beef, right? But how do you find cleaner chicken unless you're buying them locally? And I haven't found that source yet. Okay, eggs. Every egg that you eat is 6 to 7 grams of protein. So if you have 3 eggs in the morning, that's 18 grams of protein, 18 to 21. Pork loin, 3 ounces, 22 to 23. Tuna in water, go buy tuna in water. And that is 20 to 22 ounces or 20 to 22 grams of protein for 3 ounces. Tuna is a great option. And then let's do the Greek yogurt and the cottage cheese. The Greek yogurt, look for as full fat as you can, plain, sweeten it yourself. And that is for 1 cup of Greek yogurt, 15 to 20 grams of protein. So we like that, don't we? We like right around there. And cottage cheese is even more. For 1 cup of cottage cheese, it's 25 to 28 grams of protein. That is really good. That is really good. That's why cottage cheese, it has become, for a lot of people now, understand there's always caveats to everything, right? Like if you're stalling out on your weight loss, you might have to like dip down from your dairy. Like you might have to watch your dairy intake, just because it might be stalling out your weight loss. But you know, in the meantime, there are all of these cottage cheese hacks going viral, like making cottage cheese flatbreads and using cottage cheese in making ice cream in your Ninja Creamy, all sorts of things. Because cottage cheese, when you put it in the food processor, it just creamifies. And then you can use it inside of recipes and boost that protein. Does that make sense? Okay. Then the last one is shrimp, 3 ounces, 20 to 22 grams of protein in shrimp. So one of the things that we've been doing recently is I'll go to the store and I'll buy wild caught shrimp or Gulf shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico. And I'll rinse it, pat it, fry it up in butter like it's raw, it's gray, fry it up in butter, like make it pink. And then we're using a little bit of cream, real shaved Parmesan, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Maybe not so much salt added because I'm just saying like the Parmesan probably has enough salt. And that makes such a yummy, high protein meal. And you can put that on top of spaghetti squash. You guys, that is such a great recipe right there. It's such a great recipe. No idea how to eat cottage cheese without fruit. Well, do it with fruit, but do it with berries. Be a berry only person. And then you can totally do that. Just tweak it a little tiny bit. Otherwise, again, let's go back to cottage cheese being emulsified. Like when you emulsify it and you add it into something, you still can get that cottage cheese flavor for sure. But you can also then, like your Greek yogurt, if you're eating full fat Greek yogurt, you can go ahead and use your liquid stevias that are flavored and flavor it if you want to, you know, so that you feel like you're not missing out. Or take cottage cheese. This is what I do with cottage cheese. So the protein powder that I use, I actually do not use protein powder every day. It's not a part of my diet. I know that that's become a very convenient way for everybody to live. I feel like that doesn't, I don't know. It's for me, I use it as a snack, or I use it as I'm running out the door and I need something. Okay. That's what I use a protein powder for. However, or you know what? I guess I would fill in with protein if I feel like I haven't gotten enough for the day or something. Sure. But having said that, so I have this really clean protein that it's in a pod, like a vegetable casing. I slice it open and I use about a half of one and I add it to my cup of cottage cheese. So now I'm really boosting the protein. But mine is strawberry. I have a strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla. My strawberry one, it reminds me of when I was a little girl. And we used to make what we called fluff salad to take to people's houses. Cottage cheese, Cool Whip, a can of drained pineapple. And I'm trying to think if we added anything else in that. Oh, Jello, like strawberry Jello. And you would add it all together. And that was your fluff salad. And then you would take that to like potlucks. So the first time that I tried that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a childhood memory for me. So I open up my pod. I use about half of it and I add it to my cottage cheese and I just mix it up. And that tastes really good to me. You could also, now here's a little weekend hack for you. This is not a perfect ingredient conversation, y'all. Okay. So just hear me. You can go to Walmart. We talked about this yesterday. You can go to Walmart and they actually have Ready Whip and it's keto. The ingredients are not horrible. They really aren't. And you could actually then take your cottage cheese, like if I were to take my strawberry protein pod, break it open, put half of it in there. I could actually put dollops of whipped cream on there. I'm just telling you, you do not have to hate your life while you are losing weight. You do not have to hate your life. Everything you eat, yes, we do want really good ingredients. And that I do strive for this all the time. I'm constantly tweaking. I'm constantly shifting. You know, it's kind of like when you know better, you do better type of a thing. And I know that there are stricter groups than my group. I know that. And I want people to have all of those options because I'm going to tell you something. There are people who do have really, really serious levels of chronic disease that they need to be very tightly managing their ingredients. And I'm not, and I'm all for whatever you need to do for your body in terms of that. It's just has not been my experience. And so I do kind of like, you know, I don't like the word cheating, but I'll kind of lean on that envelope a little bit every now and then for my treat or for, you know, I don't ask the restaurant if their strawberries with my omelet are organic. Some people do. Some people ask everything. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Am I on FGS? No. Is that the fiber one? Totally not. No. In fact, I just had a client. I just had a coaching call with somebody about that the other day because whatever. It was mentally kind of messing with her. But no. Not at all, but I know a tiny bit. I don't know a lot. So that's why I don't speak on it a lot because I don't know a ton about that system. Like I haven't studied it or researched it. I just know it exists and I know the basics. Hi, Anne. And Anne, I think I've told you this before, but my middle name is spelled the exact same way. So I just connect with anybody whose name is spelled that way. Do I blend the cottage cheese until smooth first? Liz, I actually don't because my memory of the salad is not a blended cottage cheese. Nobody was blending cottage cheese in the 70s that I know of. So for me as a child, it was literally just cottage cheese, Jello powder. And so now I'm just substituting out my protein powder. It was Cool Whip and then a drained can of pineapple. So now if I'm going to recreate that, I could recreate. And the reason why why I'm telling you about the keto Ready Whip, because Cool Whip is trash. Please hear me on that. I want to make sure I clarify that. Cool Whip is total trash. Those ingredients are not good. Go and look at the difference between Cool Whip. Maybe I'll do a video on that. I could do a video on that. Oh, I feel like I have something on my chin. That's funny. Maybe it's my probiotic because I haven't eaten food. So I wonder if it's my powder probiotic. Anyway, Cool Whip versus Ready Whip in a can that's in your refrigerated section that you squirt. Look at the difference between a sugar-free Cool Whip and a keto Ready Whip, okay? And you'll see the difference in ingredients. I'm not leaning that far. In my opinion, that's far. Okay, that's just me. Now, whatever. I'm not going to give a scenario for that. So I could take Ready Whip keto and spray that in there and mix that up and make that more my fluff salad. And then I could add organic raspberries. My daughter gave me raspberries from her garden yesterday. So I had golden berries and raspberries. Oh my gosh. And of course, she's not using any chemicals on any of her produce because, that's just how that goes. Okay. What else? Oh, I love you too, Megda. I always keep it real. You're so sweet. Keeping it real, girl. Listen, my journey was for a reason. I'm just telling you, my journey has a purpose. Your journey has a purpose. Whatever your journey is, you have to hear that. It was a long time ago. So I've been in online sales for quite a few years now. Well, it wasn't online. I was doing a lot of local stuff. But when I started to learn how to do more social retailing with my products, like I'm doing right now, just talking to people about stuff, one of the people that I took training from, they really hammered down that you have a miracle in your mouth, that you have something to say, that you have something to help people with. And I firmly and wholeheartedly believe that. I know that every day. The results that I get, God gives me those results. My job is to come out here and to help people to know that their journey, that they're normal, that you're common. You're not common. You're special. What you're going through is common. It's normal. You're not, I can almost guarantee that you're being extraordinarily hard on yourself, thinking that maybe you're alone, maybe you're the only one, maybe nobody else thinks like you, maybe nobody else has the cravings like you do, maybe nobody else wants to binge like you do, maybe nobody else is thinking about food all day long like you are, maybe you're just living in your head and you're hard on yourself. And so my job is to come and to break down those walls to say, listen, I understand what it's like. I always say every day, I say the same thing. Supplementing is easy. Changing your mindset is harder. This is the harder piece. But if you have somebody who's gone before you, then I just know that I can help somebody. When somebody says to me, you're changing people's lives, I'm like, okay, then that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, something that shifts something for people. Okay, that's like my goal. Your goal might be different, and your story may have nothing to do with insulin resistance. It may have nothing to do with weight loss. It may have nothing to do with losing 3 sizes in your 50s. It may have nothing to do with running an online business. But your recovery from addiction, or your, it doesn't even have to be so dramatic. Only dramatic things came to my head. Your journey of crocheting for therapy. I'm just saying, like, your journey of whatever it is, if we cannot be a community that helps each other, then what is the freaking point of this live universe that we stepped into barely 10 years ago? This is such a baby. 10 years ago, we stepped into all of eternity past. Up until 10 years ago, we lived life without live video. Since the beginning of time, there was no live video like this. So I'm just saying, like, properly see the opportunity. And that's why, like, even when people, they partner with me in business, when people want to, like, make an extra income, you can use your story for social retailing. Because you can help people, but it's all about helping people. So anyway, thank you, Megda. I appreciate you saying that, because it matters to me. I'm either authentic or I'm not, right? I'm either myself or I'm not. You are insulin resistant and you need help. I would love to help you. Kenyatta. I love that name. Oh my stars, that is a beautiful name. Kenyatta. Beautiful. So I'll just give you a brief uh, direction. You can go to my profile right up here on TikTok. It's way up there. And you click on my face, and then my face is going to come up right here again. And it will take you out of the live. So you don't have to do it right now, or you can. And you're going to see my profile. And on my profile, you'll see an Instagram icon. You can either portal yourself over to Instagram inbox, where I can actually send links and stuff like that, or there's a phone number, and you can text me. And you can say, listen, you were talking about the trio, those 3 supplements on live. Will you send me a cart? Like, I need a trio cart. And you can do that, and I will send that to you. But reach out to me, because I will absolutely answer you. That's what I do. That's what I do. Okay, so I'm going to run through reasons why, what happens when you eat protein, so that everybody can understand. We're not doing this. This is not a fad. This is not the latest information. This has actually always been. We've just been very programmed to. We've been programmed, you guys, to eat carbs all day long. It's what got us into the pickle to begin with. And the reason why that is true is because the food pyramid says to graze on 9 to 11 servings or something like that, 7 to 10, whatever it is, servings of grain a day. So we get up in the morning and we are eating bagels and scones and Subway sandwiches and breakfast muffins, and we're eating everything that has carbs in it, because we've been told that grain is the way. And that was just brought to you by the grain industry. And now we are sick, and we're fat, and we're medicated, and we're miserable, and all of the things. And trust me, I'm talking from somebody who lost 3 sizes. I know what all of that is. And I did it in my 50s. You should be so encouraged by my story of losing it in my 50s. And I'm Italian. Hello. Does anybody have a cultural reason to eat? I mean, that's just the way that this goes, right? So we ate food to celebrate at weddings, and we ate food to mourn at funerals. And then what else was there? Oh, you're happy, you're sad, you're mad, you're tired, you're you're energized, doesn't matter. What are you going to do? Eat, because that's what you've been trained to do. So lots of carbs in my life. And the overconsumption of carbs over a long period of time leads to insulin resistance. So let's turn that around. Let's turn it around. Okay. So when you prioritize muscle, and we just got done saying, think in terms of, if you're wanting to lose weight, think in terms of 1 gram of protein for every pound that you weigh right now. And if that's overwhelming, then go for every pound of your goal weight. Okay. Do that. Whatever your goal weight is, turn that into grams of protein. All right. And I'll go through that list again in just a second. But first, I'm going to, as to how much per cup or 3 ounces, but let's go through just what it's going to help you do. It's going to help you to repair muscle. You want your lean muscle to be very protected. You do not want to lose weight if you are losing muscle. That is not a win. That is a losing proposition, because as we get older, we want stability. We want muscle mass. Muscle burns fat. We want to be strong. Toning our muscles, resistance training, those types of things, because as we get older, we need that for our structure. So muscle repair. Eating protein actually boosts your metabolism. People always negatively will say, like in a movie or whatever, and I'm sure that somewhere along the way that this was actually decided that they were going to put a negative connotation on the meat sweats. Have you guys heard that terminology, the meat sweats? Like, you're just eating, you go to a barbecue and you eat massive amounts of meat, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just sweating. I got the meat sweats. Like, oh, that's not a good thing. Has anybody heard that? You're not too late, Cheryl. Oh, this is sustainable. Yes, it is, Carla. Thank you for saying that. Too late, Cheryl. Tell me what you're saying. Because I know you're saying something funny, Cheryl. I know you are. You're so welcome for the info. You're so welcome. And thanks for the follows. And on TikTok, if you guys would tap your screen, I'd so appreciate it. It's just TikTok is such a interesting little beast there. But the meat sweats are actually good. The meat sweats are actually, how do I say this? Like, Meat, it has a thermogenic, thank you so much. It has a thermogenic reaction. It actually boosts your metabolism when you're eating protein like that, because it takes your body more energy to digest protein. Okay. That doesn't make it bad. That makes it a reality. If you eat bacon and eggs only, or steak and eggs, let's say steak and eggs, you have a 3-ounce portion of steak and you have 3 eggs for breakfast, you're going to be full for hours. No toast, no pancakes, no hash browns, eggs and steak. You're going to be full for a very long time. You're going to feel full. You're going to feel satiated. You're going to be burning to break all that down. But in the meantime, your blood sugar goes like this. That's what happens. So you're not spiking. You're not calling on more insulin. You're nice and steady as she goes, while you are full and satiated and your hormones are like, thank you. That's what's happening. So it's a win-win-win when you do something like that. So muscle repair boosts metabolism, satiety, blood sugar regulation, and it actually enhances fat loss. So the protein, just to give you an idea, if you think about 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal weight or your actual body weight, depending upon how overwhelming that feels to you in the moment. Chicken breast, 3 ounces of chicken breast is 26 to 28 grams of protein. Turkey breast, 3 ounces, 24 to 25 grams. Beef, 3 ounces, 22 to 24. Salmon is the same, 22 to 24. 6 to 7 grams per egg. Pork loin, 3 ounces, 22 to 23. Tuna, you could grab tuna and make a tuna salad this weekend. 3 ounces, 20 to 22 grams of protein. That's very nice, right? Forget how many ounces are in a can of tuna, but 20 to 22. Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. 1 cup of Greek yogurt, 15 to 20. 1 cup of cottage cheese, 25 to 28. Shrimp, 3 ounces, 20 to 22. You can see, I know that if I give you actual examples, you'll be like, oh, I'm probably doing some of that already. And all I have to add is, and it makes it so much more doable. It doesn't feel so overwhelming. Like, I can't eat that much protein. If you stop eating the bagels and the cereal and the Subway sandwich, you actually can, because then you don't have all that fill of carbohydrates. Oh, losing muscle, Cheryl. Yep. So GLP-1, not enough protein, tush, gone, bye-bye. Yep. Due to working and sitting too much and not exercising enough. Oh, you're welcome, Cheryl. Good protein examples. It's very helpful. If somebody can get, and you can also do chicken in a can too. You just look at the ingredients, make sure you're grabbing a good one, but tuna with water, chicken in a can, make yourself chicken. You can take chicken in a can. Here's a recipe for you. Very simple. Chicken in a can, drain it, mix in with it like an egg. You could maybe do 2, but even just whatever, you have to play around with it, and shred yourself some cheddar cheese. Okay. Shred yourself some cheddar cheese, add it in there, and make yourself that kind of it's a little bit of a wet mixture, you can imagine, and make them into like little chicken nuggies. And then on the shelf at Walmart, there is, or wherever, pork panko. And if you buy that, I buy it original. I don't buy the flavored ones. Get the original, because then you can season it yourself and you don't have any junky ingredients. Bread it with the pork panko and put it in your air fryer, and you have chicken nuggets. I'm going to do this for my grandsons because most kids love chicken nuggets. Most kids love that flavor. Well, you can do it yourself with real food. I mean, you can always just, if you don't like buying canned chicken because that either grosses you out or you think that that's not healthy, no problem. Get yourself a chicken breast and just slice it up really fine. Do it yourself then. Chunk it yourself. Not hard to do. You could literally boil chicken breasts if you wanted to and make it even easier and faster. And then get that chicken meat all shred apart. Shred your own cheese if you can, because you don't want the cellulose from the shredded cheese. And then add an egg or two and make yourself that mixture and chicken nuggets. And I'm telling you, that pork panko, it actually becomes super, super crispy. Really, really good, you guys. Super easy. And then you can find yourself a decent ranch or make your own. Not hard to do with an immersion blender. And you've got yourself great protein that you could actually take with you if you had to run out the door and go somewhere, because you can eat cold chicken nuggets if, on the go, if you need to. You can eat, if you need whatever, you need something for your lunch. I know people ask me that a lot. Like, I'm in the car a lot. What do I eat? What do I, maybe their job is a traveling nurse and you're driving around your state or your region. You're in the car all the time or whatever it is. I talk to so many people from so many different industries and careers and jobs, and like it's limitless, right? But we all have the same questions. We all want to be able to do this, and how do I do this? And sometimes we just need basic thought process. The other thing that I would add in here is string cheese. Get a string cheese. They're like 6 grams of protein a piece. And that's a really great snack to have on hand, because then you can, whatever. How can you drink your coffee? You use Premier Protein, and it's all chemicals and you can't live without. Well, what I do with my coffee, Nana Banana, I love your name. I'm a Nona, so I love that. I use real cream. So you're wanting to add protein to it though. So hold on, just let me think about this for a second. I use, when I think about coffee, I so appreciate you asking that question, because I know that there are a lot of people who are saying, lose weight at all cost. It doesn't matter. And it does matter. And I'm not perfect. I just told you all about the Ready Whip with the keto and it's not a perfect ingredient product. But I do want to say that the more shifts that we can make, the better. The more shifts, the better. So I think that, like, for myself now, I have a collagen peptide packet that I use from the company I get my supplements from for insulin resistance. And you can add, that's adding protein into your coffee. And then personally, I would top it off with cream. This is me. And then what I would do is I would take a liquid vanilla stevia. You can get them off of Amazon. The brand would be Sweet Leaf, and you could squirt that in there. You would have a great creamy protein vanilla flavor. You're just switching out your ingredients to that. That's probably what I would do. When I drink coffee, I'm not thinking protein. So for myself, I just do straight cream, with maybe liquid stevia. But if you're trying to replace that protein moment, that's where I would go with that. I think that's where I would go. Yeah, you're so welcome, because that really tickles me that you're thinking that way, because I know the chatter on TikTok. I know the food conversations, and there are a lot of things that go viral that are super trash. Now, they might help you lose weight, and I understand the journey. Nobody understands the journey maybe more than me, being Italian and thinking I literally was never on the face of the planet. I was never going to trade out my ingredients. We're going to find another way. That was me. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take some special supplements and I'm going to tell people I'm doing something. And I didn't even think they were going to work. Honestly, I didn't. I was like, I'm just going to do this so that I can tell my mom, who will not leave me alone about my sugars, that I'm doing something. That was me. So I was the queen of bad ingredients. And I was not a granola person, and I was not caring about anything like that. I thought I was doing pretty well, because I wasn't buying like boxed hamburger helper. I wasn't buying ramen noodles. I wasn't doing I was doing most stuff from scratch, meaning like if I'm going to make a cake, I'll just make it from scratch. Thought process. I'm not going to have boxed stuff, but I mean, canned frosting. Hello. There were a lot of things. I don't even have to go down that rabbit hole because my memories will start flooding back at me. But I was the queen of really bad ingredients. And so I understand. So it really excites me when somebody asks that simple of a question about changing out like a premier protein like that. Because honestly, that's become common and viral to make protein coffees. And I'm not against having a protein coffee, but there is a better way. There is a better way. So anyway, I've been using my collagen packets that I have. I put them in putting them into my Ninja Creamy ice creams that I'm making. So I'm getting extra protein and collagen that way. Coffee, collagen, creamer, cinnamon, stevia, organic coffee, ice blend. Okay, this is what Carla's doing. You're so good, Carla. Oh, yes. I'll mention that, Mary, here in just a second. So Carla, she's taking coffee and her collagen. She's using some creamer. What creamer are you using, Carla? I'd love to know. She's adding cinnamon, stevia. She's using organic coffee. See, good girl. I need to buy organic coffee. It's literally on the Dirty Dozen. Coffee's on the Dirty Dozen, I think. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. But organic coffee is supposed to be pretty. No, you know what? That was, I'm going to do a live on this. Information on coffee enemas. I've never done one, but actually they used to be in medical literature, like up until the 1970s, maybe. And of course you want to use organic coffee. Okay. So never mind. I got stuff in my brain, you guys. I just got stuff because I just research stuff. Organic heavy whipping cream. Okay, so creamer. So that's her cream. So she's doing coffee with her collagen and cream, heavy whipping cream, cinnamon, stevia, organic coffee, ice, and she's blending it. That sounds lovely, Carla. That sounds lovely. Get ready for the coffee enema info. I'm just saying, I'm not listen, I am so tired of PHARMA telling us all of the things that we shouldn't pay attention to so that they can sell us their side effect answer. I'm so tired of it. And I'm so tired of industries demonizing. Do you understand? Do you even know that like Time Magazine just came out with an article saying literally that ultra processed foods really aren't that bad? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, I just want to turn around and go, you guys just need to now shut up. You need to shut up. We have people with chronic diseases. We have people with non-terminal diseases like type 2 diabetes that are getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker, and they could turn it around. And you don't want them to know that because there's so much money in PHAMRA. Like, shut up. So anyway, so I get so frustrated. So I'm like, coffee enema, organic coffee, bring it on. What does it fix? I want to know because apparently it does. And the first time that I heard about this was somebody who was battling stage 4 colon cancer. And so doing coffee enemas, and of course you use organic, like we have to be smart here, right? But it goes up and cleanses the liver. So it's really cleansing everything. And that was the conversation. And then I recently came across some information from Dr. David Jockers, I think it is. And he's giving all this information about why it really helps and what it does, et cetera. So I'll probably do some more research. It's starting to kind of pick up a little bit speed in being like a little trendy now. Because it's really cleansing out our systems. And if you think about where we are in our society, I mean, honestly, if we were to take a poll of 100 people and ask them if you deal with constipation, I think we would be shocked. And you just cannot not have negative effects by holding toxins in your body on a regular basis, year after year after year. That's not the way this goes. Like, your body is fearfully and wonderfully made, but it has a limit. and we have to stop shoving it full of toxins every time we turn around. That's why I so appreciate the conversation about the Premier Protein, because I'm not here to put down a product, but I am here to say, become a label reader. What if there's an easier trade out? What if you could do something more simplistic and just trade out some of those chemicals, and then trade out some of those chemicals. Oh, and then those over there, just a little bit over there. And there's just maybe you bring it down a little bit, just simmer it down a little bit. Like I know that if I go and I order a sugar-free caramel breve coffee at a coffee shop, I know that it's a sugar-free syrup. And I'm not guaranteed what the ingredients are. There are actually sugar-free syrups that have allulose in them and they have good ingredients. Probably not the ones that the coffee shop is buying. So it's just not something I do all the time. So we can simmer it down. And then maybe at some point I am going to say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to order. In fact, I could easily switch it out. I'm thinking about it right now. I could easily switch it out because I could buy my sugar-free vanilla, my stevia liquid creamers. Sorry. My stevia liquid squirts that I use for like baking and stuff and whatever. And I could have that in my purse. I could easily order an Americano and put cream in it and squirt it with liquid stevia and probably be just as happy. You understand? Like there's ways that I could do this, but you know what? Our habits get in our way. And it's not until we have to cut our habits off at the pass and go, oh, that's actually an easy answer. Okay, I'm going to start to implement that. And it's not a shameful thing. It's just a reality. Like our habits, that's what they are. They're habits for a reason. We're just used to it. Tap, tap, tap. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Amen. That's right. Hi, Florida boy. How's the glucose health working for you? I'd love to know. All about money. I know. Have I tried allulose? Okay. Oh, you're asking somebody else. Okay. That's perfect. Yeah. Stevia, you can't handle the aftertaste. Yeah. Everybody has to find their own thing for their sweeteners. I will tell you though, there are studies coming out with the whole allulose thing that allulose is actually lowering blood sugar. And actually, it's not just that it's not spiking your sugars, it's that it's literally lowering. Those are the studies that are coming out now on allulose. And whoever I was listening to recently said they think it's going to be a sweetener because it's a plant-based sweetener that is. Hold on. I don't know if that's a plant-based. I would have to look that up. Hold on. I have it right here. Hold on. Let me grab this. Because I was using this last night in something. Okay, so I just bought this. This is, I have to be careful on TikTok. Doggone it. This is just a very generic looking bag and it says allulose. So I bought this on just Amazon. Nature Bell. Okay. See if it'll tell me what it is. Natural allulose. But it does say that it browns like real sugar. This one is GMO free, gluten free, lab tested. Yeah. So not only does it not spike, but it actually I need to get my information on that. But it's actually like helping people with their blood sugar levels. Can you imagine? And they said that in 10 years, it'll take over the market. It'll come down in price because it's a more expensive, but so is monk fruit. You missed the talk on Premier Protein. What's an alternative? So my alternative is if you are trying to get protein in your coffee, my alternative would be to take coffee, I have collagen peptide packets, use collagen for the protein, and then use some real cream and a liquid stevia, like a vanilla liquid stevia. You can get the stevias off of Amazon. There was something else though. Going back to the pork rinds, going back to the pork panko, Mary was saying she buys pork rinds in the bag and she just smashes them and uses those for breading for like whatever it is she's breading. For me, I bread chicken nuggets or chicken wings or whatever. And I've done that too. And you can absolutely do that. You can get pork rinds that have flavor that don't have bad ingredients. Like pretend you go and you find a chili lime pork rind in a bag and you just mash it, and now you bread your chicken wings or your chicken nuggets. You have a lovely, good tasting breading on there. So I just missed something. Oh, good. Okay. So he's saying that the glucose product dropped his morning fast glucose dramatically, but it has since stalled. So that's a very interesting thing. What do you mean by dramatically? I'd love to know. Chili lime is your favorite. I love chili lime. So the Premier Protein, somebody had just asked that about like they're wanting to find an alternative because of the bad ingredients. And when you now, I'm just trying to think of like a good match of a testimony. So somebody they started on the trio, they were taking all three, and she was type 2 and she couldn't budge her morning sugars for 3 years, and she couldn't budge her pounds. And after taking the trio, and she was on meds, but she was already also on MET. No, sorry, that was the med. She was also on berberine and inositol, which are 2 other recommendations. I just have never taken them because I didn't know about them. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate you guys, or for the hearts. And she started the trio a year ago. And within the first 2.5 months, her morning sugars dropped 30 points and she lost 14 pounds. So this is just helping you to work on a cellular level. Okay. So the fact that you had a good dramatic, like your morning fasting dropped, that's actually a bigger gauge than anything else, because that dawn phenomenon, what that means, and again, I'm not a doctor, right? But my studies have shown me that dawn phenomenon is when your morning fasting sugars are high, but you haven't eaten. They just stayed high. You went to bed and they never came down, even though you hadn't eaten for that length of time. A 100-point drop? Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. Well, that's very exciting. My recommendation is, if you're not taking it 3 times a day, take it 3 times a day. Make sure that you're spreading it out. And obviously trading out your food. So if you need any help with that, I'm trying to think. So, because you're a guy, you're not in my Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. However, I'm like going through the processes in my head. When you ordered from me, did you get a text from me at all? Did I have your information, or did you check out as a guest? That's my question. What is a good natural eliminating process? Kenyatta. So I love that question. That's a very good question. I did text you. Okay. So then did you get the text with the PDF for the recipes? Did you get the recipes and stuff like that? Like the pantry ideas and stuff like that? Because I want to make sure that you're getting equipped, as much as possible, like with your food also. Because I mean, obviously you had very high sugars if it dropped 100 points in that short of time for fasting, and now you've stalled a little bit, and I get that. Now allow your body to go into healing mode. Allow your body to actually turn things around. And the other day I was talking about how, when you go on an Alaskan cruise and you go into Glacier Bay, and you've got the whole cruise ship is going into Glacier Bay, and it's so amazing and so stunning, and it's all the bald eagles, and the ship is going to turn so slowly you're barely even going to know the ship is turning to get you back out of there. So it takes a very skilled captain to know what they're doing. You're not supposed to disrupt the nature. You're not supposed to disrupt the bald eagles. You're not like, they've got rules, right? But sometimes our bodies can feel that way. Like, it takes time. So match what you're doing with supplementation with what you're doing with ingredient trade outs. Like, do it without beating yourself up, but you have to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with. And I'm telling you, you still can be a foodie. You can still be a foodie. That was my biggest thing. I thought I had to give it up. You don't recall a PDF? Yes, very high glucose levels. Okay, you don't recall. What is your first name? And I'm going to make sure I look you up in my system when I get off. Just give me your first name. Do I have a pen? have a marker. Because I just want to make sure. One of the texts would have been like, thank you for your order. And then I would have sent out a text that has like a little present, like a gift. And it's a gift for you off of the same texting thread. And it has a PDF for you to download. Thank you. I'm going to look that up. I know now that you say that, I remember seeing your name. I might have even sent you a card. Okay. The Trio Gala are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Those are the ones that I started over 10 years ago. And I did it because I didn't think I could trade out my foods as an Italian girl. And now what I understand is that you literally can help your body at a cellular level. When you are insulin resistant, your cells have closed the door. The job of your body is to make sure that everything you eat gets turned into energy. That's just the most basic conversation. So your pancreas releases insulin. So insulin can go gobble up the sugar that your body turned your food into, because your body wants sugar for fuel. It's like that's what it wants. So whether you eat a steak or a Snicker bar, it's going to trigger insulin, either just a tiny bit or a lot of it. You know what I mean? And it's going to gobble it up and it's going to shuttle it into your cells. Well, when you're not just eating steak and eggs and it's only triggering it a little bit and you're like, I'm having pasta and I'm having bread, and then I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm going to get a pumpkin spice latte, and then I'm going to go to Subway and I'm going to get a sandwich, and then I'm going to sit at home and I'm going to eat popcorn all night long, and you're just like spike, spike, spike. Your insulin is like, oh my gosh, oh, gobble, 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 gobble. It's trying to get it into your cells. Okay. And after a while, your cell goes, I'm tapping out. Like, hello, you're like stuffed. No more. And then what happens is slowly it can't gobble, gobble anymore. And your sugars start to rise. So you're insulin resistant long before it shows up over here in your sugars. This is why most people do not know that they are insulin resistant, because nobody is doing the proper testing to tell them. So you have to rely on your own symptoms. So your sugars are rising and rising because your cell is over here going, no, rising, and all that extra insulin, because your body's like, I must just need to make more insulin. I must not have made enough. I must not have made enough. I'm going to make more. I'm going to make more. I'm going to make more. And all that extra insulin gets turned into fat, because insulin is a fat storing hormone. That's the frustration of the hamster wheel. So if at a cellular level, you can get your cell to open up so that everything can start moving again, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. All of a sudden, it is able to get that higher sugar out. Whoo, we got someplace to put it. We got someplace to put it. Oh, whew. Okay, we're moving again. We're moving again. We're filling up that cell. Okay, now what are the testimonies that I get from people? Obviously, he has very high sugars, and so this is not a normal testimony. But quickly, he dropped 100 points in his morning sugars. Whew, bam. How nice is that? Over time, then, as your body is going, okay, let's get back up to efficiency mode. Let's get back up to efficiency mode. The energy starts to come back to your body because it's actually getting into your cell. The brain fog starts to release. The aching starts to decrease. Like inflammation starts to go. But it doesn't happen overnight. And I don't ever want anybody to think that I would make a claim that something is magical. It happens fast. I do have really amazing testimonies. A lot of them. Most of them are on the pink highlight bubble at the top of my Instagram page. And a bunch of them are also in guide number 4 in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Those are great. But obviously and admittedly by himself, he's saying, I do have really, really high sugars. So I don't think he's expecting overnight to have his life magically fixed, because he knows, right? So he's super happy with that immediate, because that gave him hope. Oh my gosh, this actually does help with my sugars. Okay. that encourages him then to take another step. Okay, now I'm going to be a little bit better about my ingredients, or I'm going to make sure that I'm doing that again next month, or I'm going to, whatever it is, right? Because you have to have a longer term thought process towards anything. But I always start everything. I have the track that I tell people to run on for me, for my story, and for the system that I kind of created for myself and now share with others. You start with targeted supplementation like the trio. You learn how to trade out your ingredients. I do that in the group. And then we do a challenge every month. And the next one starts on Monday, September 9th, coming up in 3 days. And that's free. And we'll do ingredient trade outs, etc. But that's basically a rundown of what we're talking about here. Correct. Oh, eliminating process. Yes. You did. Thank you for the tea. Okay, good. Yes. I'm so glad. So that's the track to run on for the trio. You can always put trio in the comments on Facebook and I'll get you a cart with all 3 in them. And then on Instagram, you have to get into my inbox, and TikTok, you have to go over to Instagram or text the number. So for dealing with constipation, I'm glad that people will ask that question because we can't live that way. So the first thing that I would recommend, get yourself a good magnesium blend that has citrate in it. You don't have to do straight citrate, but a blend. And if you start to take magnesium with citrate in it every single day, I actually don't have one in my line. I wish I did. You will start to feel like your body is starting to move again. Don't do over-the-counter stuff. The other thing is the one thing that I do have in my line that I take every day is I have a gut primer. So my gut primer has in it a prebiotic, a postbiotic, fermented greens, digestive enzymes. Hold on, I'll get it all. Alkaline spices, and it has fiber, but the fiber is not the cheap fiber that you're buying at the mart. It is a fiber from vegetable or from fruit extracts. So that's a good way to keep your body moving, things like that. If somebody doesn't want to do a gut primer because they're not ready for, like, some people are already supplementers. And so they're like, gut primer? I want to know gut primer because you're already in that. If you're not, think digestive enzymes. Forever, I've taken digestive enzymes all by themselves because your body, your pancreas releases enzymes to help you digest your food. And over time, it just doesn't release as much. And so we need to break down our food better. So the thought process is like, let's start at the beginning of the bus, right? When you eat food and it gets into your body, let's start at the beginning where you're breaking it down. And then the gut primer is because obviously when it gets into your gut, you need another level of help. But the last piece would be that magnesium citrate conversation. That's very helpful. Very, very helpful. And I'm telling you, if I am constipated, something is so not right in my universe. Like that should not be. And obviously, it goes without saying, drink a lot of water, all that for sure. If you're keto, make sure that you're drinking electrolytes, you're drinking a lot of water. Like you definitely want things to keep moving. But dairy used to really mess me up. But since I have incorporated things more like my gut primer, digestive enzymes, I take a really good probiotic. It's all the gut conversation before anything even gets into your small intestine. Now I don't have any issues because I'm dealing with stuff on the front end. Gotta go, Carla. Bye. See you later. See you Monday. Can't wait. I'm excited. Yeah, electrolytes are like, because when somebody's keto, if you're eating keto, meaning that you are really low carbohydrate, high protein, etc. Oftentimes people will talk about getting keto flu or they're achy or whatever. And it's because you need to replenish the electrolytes. You need to replenish magnesium would be one of them for sure. Potassium, salt. Like we need good salt in our body because when you're not eating processed foods, guess what? You're not eating a lot of salt. Isn't that good news? Like people are like, oh, you got to be careful of your table salt. No, you need to get rid of your table salt because it's trash ingredients. but you need your salt to run your body. Like your cells need salt, magnesium, potassium to function. Those are the electrolytes that people oftentimes need to get replaced. And most electrolytes, unfortunately, have sugar in them. So you have to find the ones that don't. LMNT, literally the letter L. I probably have one right here. Hold on. Nope, this one's salty. This one is salty, SALTT. Oh, I have to be careful on TikTok. I'm sorry, I can't show you guys stuff because then they think I'm trying to like SALTT. Okay, I'll show it right here then. This is one brand that doesn't have sugar. One that says LMNT. That's another electrolyte brand that is sugar-free. And that's a great way to be able to, like this one actually is caramel, which is super interesting because then you could put this into like warm water and drink it like a drink, right? Like a warm drink, and it would be caramely and salty, if that makes sense. So don't be confused. It is a salty thought process because it's meant to replenish your salt that you are now not getting. I hope that makes sense. You got your Lily's chocolate, Melissa. I'm so proud of you. Good for you. Good for you. Yep. That's how you do it, girl. I've been sharing your conversation, certainly not in, exposing way at all. But you know what? It really did press on me to remember parts of my own journey because it's the only way that I can really help people. If I pull out of the recesses of my brain, some of those things. Thank you for the roses, Melissa. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. So yeah, trading things out and just finding the encouragement and the hope to go another day, to go another week, to go another month, to have a longer term vision of where can I be by the end of the year. Like it takes a little bit of thought process, and you do have to give yourself that space and that time and that grace to do it. You do. And it's your own permission to go on a journey. And so what I would say is if anybody wants to go have a different track to run on because the track that you've been on is not working for you, don't sabotage your own ability to either get into the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women and be a part of the challenge, the free challenge that starts this coming Monday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't sabotage yourself and keep yourself from reaching out to me and finding out about the trio, getting a cart. Say, I just need a cart that has the trio in it. I need to get started. Don't stop yourself from doing that. Because I'll tell you, I do have people that reach out and they're like, I've been watching you for a year. I've been watching you for 4 months. I've been, whatever, because we're just on our own little journey and we're scared to pull the trigger because then maybe we're afraid of routine. Maybe we're afraid of, failing again, like, oh, just another thing I'm going to fail at. But I'm just going to tell you that no matter what, number one, you have a 6-month guarantee on all the products. But number two, you actually get an encouraging system within which to work. And what I mean by that is like, I'm here live 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, every week. We have a challenge every month in the group, so that people can go 1 month at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 month at a time, and then come back and get encouraged again, get filled up again. In business, I do that every 90 days, right? I go to business conferences, I take training or whatever every 90 days. I think that when we're dealing with trying to lose weight and trying to deal with all of the food around us, the food pushers, bad information, the marketing, the noise, I feel like once a month is more appropriate. That was just the way that I feel like I needed to have had that kind of level of help and encouragement. And it's a different track to run on. You start with your cells instead of a GLP-1 that's dealing with pancreas and trying to knock on the door of your pancreas. So this is cellular conversation. This is internal conversation. Okay. And giving your body some of the raw material and the raw ingredients that it needs to actually open up doors and work again. Okay. Open up that door. And everything else is trying to like hack it. And it's just not, it's not long-term sustainable. You cannot knock on the door of your pancreas forever. It doesn't work that way. Okay. But anyway, so cellular level, and then let's talk about ingredient trade outs. Just like today, we're talking about protein and how to get in good protein and a couple of ideas on how to do that, turn them into recipes. And then let's do a challenge every month. And maybe that's the exact track that you thought, I could do that for the next 4 months, 6 months, a year. I can give myself permission for a journey and see what happens. And doggone it, I love these long-term thought process people who like, and I know Carla's not here anymore, but she said in June, okay, what was her story? Hold on. She literally just gave it to me. In June, she joined Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. In July, she started trading out her ingredients. And in August, she started taking the Trio and the gut primer that I was just talking about. And in 3 months, her A1C, I don't like giving bad information, so hold on, I got to remember this. Her A1C went from, I think it was an 8 point something to a 6.9 to a 6.3. And she's just like so freaking excited because everything else that she has tried, she has not been able to move the needle. She has not been able. So she is like such a great student, such a great advocate of what this simple little thought process is. And it's just a recreation of what I've done. But now so many people have testimonies behind me and it makes my heart very happy. So anyway. So, all right, you guys have thank you, Melissa, so much. You are the #1 gifter badge, Melissa, you're the winner. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have no idea. It's the only way to be able to get information out is if people tell other people, if people share content, if people subscribe, if people follow, if people tap screens, if people do all the things. That's the only way to really be able to like expand your reach in any way, shape, or form. So I don't take it for granted ever that somebody stops on this content, likes it, comments, engages, reaches out to me. Like I put my contact information out there so that you can get the information you need because I can't help you. If you never reach out to me, I can't help you. I mean, I can help you a little bit with my content, right? But if you're wanting to actually like step into the arena of a different track to run on, you have to actually be the one to reach out to me, right? Because it has to be your own, something that you're owning for yourself. But then you get to own the results. And that's really important because you have to be proud of you for the steps that you take, even though you didn't feel like it, even though you knew you were thinking you were going to self-sabotage and you weren't going to take that step because you didn't believe in yourself enough to take the step. I know all of this from personal experience. I'm just telling you. Ask me how I know all of this. That's how I know it all. But I did take steps. I did eventually trade out my ingredients. I did do the things, and I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. So everybody should have hope, but I did it because I used the lenses of insulin resistance. Get your sugars and your insulin down so that you can finally lose weight. Because when your insulin and or your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. Okay? That's how that works. So you can kind of just think about that for the weekend, kind of noodle on that just a little bit. And it's always so good to just see you guys. I can't wait to see you on Monday, 10 a.m. here. And then 2 p.m. for in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And we will start with our 5-day challenge. And we'll go through ingredient trade outs and my pantry and my fridge reveal. And there's my cat on TikTok. So funny. And then we'll do a recipe. Like we just have fun. And then if you start to wane in your belief in yourself during the month of September, you start to like feel like, I just don't know if I can do this. And I'm having bad thoughts and I'm beating myself up. And, I didn't do what I was supposed to do or what I wanted to do when I went to that wedding and whatever. Then in October, we'll do another challenge. And then you'll get boosted again. And isn't that a great way to have a support system to actually be able to fix things? It's a great way. So, all right. Have a super blessed day, you guys. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you more than you know. Have a really good day. If you need anything, reach out and I will help you. See you later.